I moved to Mexico with $600, no job, and no real plan. I was exhausted with the life I was living and I couldn't take it anymore. In January 2025, I made the decision that I was leaving. I tried to plan as much as I could without putting the dream off for too long, so I set June 1st as my move date. After binge watching YouTube videos about Mexico, I decided I wanted to move to Guanajuato City. So I built a loose plan. In February, I bought my one-way ticket. In March, I booked my Airbnb for 2 months. In April, I bought everything I thought I would need for 3 months. Soap, lotion, hair care, detergent, everything. In May, I saved as much as I could, sold most of my things on Facebook Marketplace and Poshmark, returned my car, and canceled all my memberships. And in June, I made the move. One mistake I made was moving to Mexico without trying to build a community first. There are so many Facebook groups and online spaces for different cities in Mexico, where you can ask questions, meet people, and find things to do. And I didn't tap into that at all. My first month here was very lonely and very stressful. What I would do instead would be to start connecting with people before I arrive. Join groups, ask questions, even try to meet people virtually. It makes a huge difference when you land somewhere new and don't feel completely alone. Another mistake I made was moving without securing income. I moved to Mexico without a job. I quit my job in May and started applying for freelance work online. I applied to 64 jobs and heard nothing back. When I arrived in Mexico, I had $600 in savings. I was honestly terrified. I was grateful that I had already paid for my Airbnb and bought everything I needed, but still, that level of uncertainty was extremely stressful. What I would do instead would definitely be to secure income before I move, or at least have something lined up. If you're looking for freelance work, I highly recommend using Upwork. After struggling for over a month with Indeed and LinkedIn, I was able to land my first role on Upwork within 24 hours. The biggest mistake I made was simply not planning well enough. I thought I could figure everything out as I went, and while I did eventually, it came with a lot of unnecessary stress. I used to binge watch Mexico Relocation Guide, but I never actually invested in the full guide. And looking back, I really wish I had, because it covers everything I struggle with. Residency, housing, avoiding scams, finding realtors, getting mail, taxes. People I've met who have used it seem to be thriving in a way I strive for. If you're planning your move, I linked the relocation guide below. The price is increasing soon, so if it's something you've been considering, I will look into it now. And I have a discount code for you if you're interested.
Buenos días.
Hola, buenos días.
Another mistake I made was not actively learning Spanish. Before moving, I took 1 lesson a week with a tutor, but that wasn't enough. I struggled so much during my first month. I would get nervous even trying to speak. Being immersed has helped me a lot, but I wish I had put in more effort beforehand. What I would do instead would be to practice daily, speaking daily, writing daily, and using tools like italki, Preply, and Duolingo. Another mistake I made was choosing a place that was affordable but not practical. In Guanajuato, I stayed in the suburbs of Guanajuato City, which is Marfil. It was beautiful, quiet, but far from the city center. I couldn't walk anywhere, and I had to rely on Ubers constantly. Even though Ubers are cheaper here, it adds up. And because of my financial situation, I found myself staying home more than I wanted to. What I would do instead is definitely stay in a more central, walkable area, even if it costs a little more. Being able to explore freely, feel safe, and actually enjoy your environment is worth it. Another mistake I made was ignoring my dietary needs. I have a sensitive gut and eczema, and I know a plant-based diet works best for me. But when I got to Mexico, I wanted to try everything. And I did. And while I really enjoy the food, I also experience flare-ups and gut issues from eating too much dairy, sugar, and things my body doesn't tolerate well. Now I cook more at home, I eat out intentionally, and take care of my body in a way that actually supports me. I made a lot of mistakes moving to Mexico, but at the same time, those mistakes forced me to grow in ways I don't think I would have otherwise. Living alone in a new country, figuring things out as I go, it's built a level of confidence in me that I didn't have before. I'm still learning, I'm still adjusting, but I'm also building a life that feels more aligned with who I am. And if you're thinking about making this move too, you don't have to do it perfectly, but having a plan can give you a much softer landing than I had.